Hi guys, it's Jackie M and welcome to another session of Malaysian Ingredients Made Easy. Me going live, showcasing ingredients in your cooking. And this week we are featuring Malaysian coconut milk and coconut cream. And just give me 2 seconds while I just quickly check to see that, okay, yeah, it is working. So welcome everyone. Make sure you say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're wondering why I'm just standing here, that's because what I've done for this particular session, because I had a really busy day today, is that I have pre-recorded the cooking. Okay, so I'm going to be live here in the background, just answering any questions you have. So just go ahead and comment and hit me up with any questions, and I will respond either via the comment section, or I will actually hop back on later on and answer the questions that way as well. Okay, so like I said, we are featuring Malaysian coconut milk, coconut cream. So these are some of the products that were sent out to me. Coconut milk, this is light coconut milk, this is coconut milk, and this is coconut cream, all from Malaysia. And the other one I want to talk to you a little, because someone brought up the question, right? This is coconut milk powder. Okay, so we're going to talk about these a little bit more at the end of the cooking segment, because some of you guys, because I emailed my newsletter list, and some of you guys came back with some comments and some questions as well that you'd like me to answer, and I will do that, right? So make sure you stick around to find out the answers to the questions about, first of all, coconut milk going rancid, okay? And second of all, the question about coconut milk. Actually, some people are leery, Westerners are leery about using coconut milk in their cooking because they think it's unhealthy, it's fatty and all that. All right, so make sure you stick around to find out my responses to those. And now I'm going to play you the clip shortly. It is going to run for about 20-25 minutes, and what it is are 2 cooking sessions. Like I said, I pre-recorded it because I didn't have time to cook live today, and what they are an easy prawn and pineapple curry. This is the same recipe that's from my restaurant back in the day when I had my restaurant. And the funny thing is, by the way, guys, I was just at this durian festival on the weekend, and it's been nearly 10 years since I closed my restaurant, and people still think of me, still think of my restaurant. Okay, people still want to book tables at my restaurant and still want to show up my restaurant. Guys, my restaurant no longer exists because I had to look after my son who's got Down syndrome, and but nonetheless, a lot of my recipes that I share in these live broadcasts are from the restaurant. Okay, and the prawn and pineapple curry, which only takes 10 minutes to do, is one of them. The other recipe we're going to do is a vegan coconut ice cream, absolutely delicious, and it was actually my first time making it that way. So let's just play the clip right now. Like I said, hit me up if you've got any questions and I'll answer them live on air. And secondly, if you want the recipes to today's session and also to the entire series, make sure you sign up at malaysianchefs.com/recipes, and it will land in your inbox. You'll be added to my email list and you'll get updated on all the stuff that I get up to. Okay, let's play it now. Listen, we're going to feature Malaysian coconut milk, coconut cream, even coconut milk powder in this series here this week as part of my Malaysian Ingredients Made Easy initiative in partnership with the Malaysian Agriculture Councillor Office based here in Sydney, Australia. So first of all, a quick shout out to Lenovo for the laptop I'm using to do all my broadcasts. I'm using a Lenovo Legion. It's a gaming laptop and it's perfect for being able to handle the grunt of live streaming, recording and editing videos. And like I said, we are featuring Malaysian coconut milk. And now, if you've ever done a lot of cooking and you've used canned coconut milk, right, you will know after shopping around that they're not all created equal. All right, some of them you can't pick up any hint of coconut in them at all, and others, the Malaysian ones are fantastic. Okay, so if you want the best coconut milk, coconut cream you can get your hands on, the quality ones, look for made in Malaysia. Okay, so we're going to do 2 recipes in this session. First one is going to be a prawn and pineapple curry. This is based on the same recipe that I used to use for my fish curry that was very popular. I used to produce a range of frozen meals, right, back in the day as part of my business, my restaurant and all that. that. And one of the most popular items on the menu was the fish curry that looks a little bit turmeric-y, garlicky, and all that, right? Now, that particular fish curry, I'm going to use that same recipe. I'm using prawns and pineapple for today's session, and it's very simplified, very easy. You can literally whip it up within 10-15 minutes. Okay, so that's the first one. And the second recipe we're going to be working on is ice cream. Okay, this is great for the vegans. This is going to be a coconut ice cream, and you know what? You can play around with the flavor. I love coconut ice cream, but I've got some kaffir lime powder on hand, so I might actually just add a little bit of kaffir lime powder in it to give it a little bit of a kaffir lime tangy aftertaste. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, like I said, we're going to be using I'm going to use coconut milk for this. Okay, so this is a very subtle prawn curry, and I've got some pineapple. Let me just switch the camera so you can see all this easily. Here we go. Okay. So you want some prawns. Let me just move my Lenovo laptop out of view. Okay. So I've got the prawns, I've got them peeled, they're deveined, I've left the heads on and I've left the tails on so that they look nice and pretty. And this is actually just canned pineapple. Like I said, this is an abbreviated recipe, okay? Something that you can whip up quickly at home that's still going to taste delicious. And we're going to use some onion, some garlic, and some kaffir lime if you've got it on hand. I've got these kaffir lime leaves. They look a little bit old because they've been sitting in my freezer, but they will do. Obviously, fresh is always best. So let's just move these out of the way and we shall get started. I've got the onion. This is like onion that I've already processed in the food processor. Just a handy tip for those of you who do a lot of cooking of Malaysian like curries and that sort of stuff. It is worth your while to really just kind of like peel a few onion, just process them in the food processor and just keep them in the freezer or the fridge, so you're not always having to peel and do that, you know, for every dish that you cook. Likewise with the garlic, this is like fresh minced garlic. So, and then we are going to use a little bit of salt, some chili, crushed chilies. Okay, now, like I said, this is an abbreviated recipe. Fresh is always best. You know, if you've got fresh chilies you want to like chop up and pound, go for it. But we're going to just use a crushed chili that you can pull out of your pantry. And same with turmeric. We're going to use a little bit of turmeric powder. Usually in Malaysia you would use fresh turmeric, but like I said, we are going the easy route today. So I've got my stove here. Okay, let's just get going. Got this turned on. And lemongrass, again, yet another ingredient. If you've got fresh lemongrass, you would bruise it and then throw it in and simmer the prawns with it. But, you know, back in my restaurant days, because I used to produce this as a frozen meal, and also I used to produce the paste, right? I call it a seafood curry paste, right? I would use minced lemongrass instead. Okay, so this frozen minced lemongrass you can pick up at your Asian grocery store. Otherwise you can just use like whole stems of lemongrass, just bruise them a little bit and simmer them with the sauce here. Okay, so this is just heating up and we are going to throw in a little bit of onion. Okay, now usually most recipes when you're cooking Malaysian curries, they will tell you to heat up some oil and then throw in the wet spices. Okay, I find that it's a little bit like a little bit of a demotivator when you want to cook curries, because when you know oil and water don't mix, right? And wet spices have a lot of water content in it, so when you heat up some oil and you throw in all these wet spices, they tend to split everywhere, all over your kitchen bench, your kitchen wall, splashback, even your hands and all that, right? So I actually nowadays tend to like to just fry the wet spices on a non-stick surface, before I add the oil, okay? That just helps to alleviate some of the spitting that you can encounter, okay? Now I'm just gonna add a little bit of the lemongrass. So we've got onion, garlic, lemongrass so far. And just adding a little bit of turmeric powder. Okay, so now if you're using fresh turmeric, you can use a little bit more. If you're using turmeric powder, powdered forms of spices tend to be quite intense, right? And use too much of it, it can leave a little bit of a bitter aftertaste. So just be very, very light-handed with this. Now, again, if you've got fresh chilies, use that. I'm using crushed chili or chili powder here. You can hear the sizzling, that means there's still some water content in this, but you don't see the wet, sloppy mix down here now. So I'm just going to add the oil in here, just to fry it up till it's aromatic. Okay, so in goes the oil. Throw in the kaffir lime leaves. Now the recipes always say fry till the oil separates, which means when you can actually see the oil start to come back out of the spices. Okay, so by pre-frying the spices without the oil, you're speeding up this part as well, okay? So because they are quite dry already, when you add the oil, it doesn't take long for them to brown and for the oil separate. Now I'm just going to throw in the prawns. And I'm going to use a can of coconut milk from Malaysia. Okay, and look at this. Okay, it's beautifully thick and very aromatic. Now I'm just going to add some seasoning. Now, as far as the seasoning, I'm just going to use a pinch of salt. And a pinch of sugar, if I can find my sugar. And also, here we go. Here's the sugar. You can add a bit more sugar if you like, right? This is kind of like a fairly accessible curry. Now look at the rich coconut milk, how it's just blending beautifully into the prawns. And now, this is optional. If you want to totally give it a little bit of a body, you can add a little bit of chicken powder. I'm using mushroom seasoning here actually. And in using mushroom seasoning, this makes this actually gluten-free, and also it makes it friendly for people who want to avoid meat, okay? Pescatarians, in other words. Okay, so if you want this more saucy, you can add more coconut cream or coconut milk to this. If you want it a little bit lighter, you can add a bit of water. And if you're using fresh pineapple, you want to add it sooner, but I'm using actually canned pineapple. You don't want to add it too soon because it might end up falling apart in the curry, okay? So you basically just want to cook this till the prawns are done. You can speed it along just by putting a lid on it. I'm just going to get something to serve this up with. Now, I mentioned that this is the recipe for my fish curry, so obviously you can use fish if you're using a delicate fish, right? I used to use basa fillets. If you're using delicate fish, what I would suggest that you did was I would suggest that you cook the fish separately. So what you want to do is you want to coat the fish with a bit of tapioca starch or corn starch, and then flash fry it separately, and then cook the sauce and pour the sauce over it. That's how I used to make my frozen fish curry meals, okay? And obviously you can easily make this vegan, vegetarian, and replace the prawns or the fish with some vegan or vegetarian protein of sorts, like say maybe some firm tofu or whatever. This is a very, very like versatile sauce. Okay, and that's pretty much done. Let's just taste test this quickly. Perfect. I might just add a touch more salt to this. And there you go, that's it. Done and done. Now, this particular dish, this is so simple, it's important that you get good quality coconut milk for this, okay? If you use one of those cheapo ones that have no flavor, then it's really kind of like, you're kind of missing out, right? Because you want the curry to taste very subtle and very coconutty, okay? So let's just dish this up. And if you're not into seafood, any kind of protein will work for this, right? You can use chicken in particular. And if you like cashew nuts, you can actually throw some cashew nuts, or even like separately roast some cashew nuts and top them up with this. There you go. Simple, easy, delicious prawn and pineapple curry using quick shortcut methods and using Malaysian coconut cream or coconut milk. Okay, they do have a light, you can also get light coconut cream, coconut milk here as well, okay? But coconut cream and coconut milk. Okay, guys, if you want the recipe for this, don't forget, just sign up at malaysianchefs.com/recipes. I'm still preparing all the recipes for this series, but if you sign up, I'm going to just send them to your inbox once they're ready, okay? And let me just get this out of the way, and I will then do the special vegan coconut ice cream with some kaffir lime flavor. Okay, I'll see you soon. Okay, so next thing we're going to make is a very, very quick and simple ice cream. Okay, I love coconut ice cream, but we're going to make coconut ice cream. We're going to make it vegan, and also we're going to add a touch of kaffir lime flavoring in it, and that's completely optional. You like pandan, you can add some pandan flavoring. You like durian, you can add some durian flavoring, all kinds of stuff. But the base is going to be a coconut cream ice cream, okay? So what do you want? Let's use some Malaysian coconut cream. Oh, let me just switch the camera views over again. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to use 1 each of Malaysian coconut cream and coconut milk, right? And what we're going to do is just empty them into a saucepan. coconut milk. That's half a can because I used the rest in the prawn curry just there. But I've got some more left. I'm gonna just add that in from my fridge. It's a little bit, it's actually coconut cream, but doesn't matter. Or otherwise you can use a 1:1 ratio coconut cream, coconut milk, or you know, if you like it creamier, use more coconut cream. Now I'm just gonna add some sugar. Now, if you want palm sugar, you can use Malaysian palm sugar as well. We're just gonna use some white sugar. And now, just gonna just gently bring this to a simmer, okay? And I'm going to add a pinch of salt to this, okay? Salt always helps to bring out the sweetness. So if you're using Malaysian palm sugar, you can use the Malaysian grated palm sugar, or you can use the palm sugar syrup, right? Okay, I really just want to dissolve the sugar, so what I'm going to do is turn it off, and if you've got a stick blender, you can use a stick blender to just kind of blend this for about 30 seconds or so. Where did I put mine? Okay, here you go. So make sure this is probably, so you can see it properly. Okay. Now I'm going to transfer this into my ice cream maker. I know I'm cheating a little bit. If you don't have an ice cream maker, you can just pour it into a tub and freeze it. But yeah, I'm using my ice cream maker, and I'm going to churn this, and after that I'm going to freeze it till it's firmed up, and I'll show you what it looks like after that. All right, I've got no one here with me, and it's been half an hour in my ice cream maker. I've taken it out. There's just the paddle that goes in there. So it's produced like a soft serve ice cream. I'm gonna stick it in the freezer and freeze it overnight. And I forgot to mention earlier, if you've got some kaffir lime flavoring or any kind of flavor, this is actually pure kaffir lime powder. Let me actually, no. Let me just actually move change the layout here so you can see. Okay, here we go. So this is a kaffir lime powder that I'm using, right? I just decided to just add a little bit in here earlier. Okay, you can add some more, right? Just mix it through. And we're going to transfer this into a box and freeze this till it's firmer. Though to be honest, you can eat it as is if you like soft serve textured ice cream. Okay. No, can you move out, please? Okay, good, bye-bye. Okay. So here you go. Just pour it in. And if you like, you can like drizzle some palm sugar syrup over this or anything else you like, right? Okay, so we're gonna freeze this and I'll show you in photos later on what it looks like. So remember, this is like 1 can each of Malaysian coconut milk and Malaysian coconut cream with some sugar and a little bit of like salt and also whatever flavoring you like, optional, which in my case I just add a little bit of kaffir lime powder. I happen to have some sitting around, so give it a shot and let me know how it goes. Don't forget, if you want the recipe to this and to all the recipes, to all the other ones in the series, right? Just sign up at malaysianchefs.com/recipes and I'll send it to your inbox when they're ready. Okay? Yeah, good boy. Okay, thanks guys. I'll see you next time. Okay, I hope you found that useful. I just want to quickly show you the ice cream that I made. So it's still in the box here, and this is what it looks like the next day, okay? So it doesn't look pure white or cream because of the coconut milk, and it's testament to the quality of the Malaysian coconut cream and coconut milk that it actually looks like the fresh coconut milk that's extracted from coconut, the fruits, right? So why Malaysian coconut cream and coconut milk? Like I mentioned at the start, it makes a huge difference, the quality of the coconut milk that you use in your dishes. Sometimes, you know, you might think, oh, you want to do it cheap and not worry about it. But one of the biggest complaints of Malaysians when they leave Malaysia and move overseas is that, you know, why do their dishes that contain coconut milk don't not taste the same? Why is it they don't have that nice coconutty flavor, right? And it's because of the quality of the coconut milk, because when you live overseas, you can't really get fresh coconut, grated coconut and extract it yourself. So this is your, you know, this is your solution essentially, using Malaysian coconut cream, okay? So not all coconut cream, coconut milk is made the same. The Malaysian products are excellent for this, okay? So if you want something to really pop, really, you know, have the coconut flavor really accentuated, make sure you get the Malaysian variety. The other thing I wanted to mention was there are a couple of questions. Fauzia was asking if coconut cream is left over in the can, does it freeze well and for how long? Yes, it does actually freeze well. I've seen online where people say it'll keep for 2 months in the freezer, okay? The one thing though is that coconut milk, coconut cream, once you've opened it, you do want to use it within a week or so in the fridge, okay? Otherwise, it may be a little bit unstable. So the workaround is you can actually boil up the coconut cream, coconut milk, and that will help it to last a little bit longer, and then it can stay in the fridge a little bit longer. But also the other alternative, if you've got like a can of coconut cream or coconut milk and you only need half a can and you don't plan to use it again for another, I don't know, whatever. The alternative is to use coconut milk powder. Okay, so this is an option, coconut milk powder. I use this a lot, right? And this is great because you only need to use what you need, right? A couple of spoonfuls, mix it in with water, and you can add, like, if you want it more creamy, you add more coconut milk powder. You want it less, so you use less. The other way I use this, right, is to make nasi lemak. Okay, I'm just going out of focus here. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Can I fix this? Okay, here you go. Okay, nasi lemak is coconut rice, right? Now, the thing about making coconut rice is that when you cook rice in a rice cooker or whatever else, right, you usually cook the rice with water, okay? And cooking rice with water and rice cookers cooking rice with water turn out fine, right? But when you add something that's a little bit thick, like coconut milk, instead of water, or as well as water, it causes it to have a tendency to cook more slowly and also to burn. Okay, so this is my solution. What I do nowadays, if I want to make nasi lemak coconut rice, is I cook rice with just straight water, a bit of salt, and you can add some pandan powder or pandan flavoring to it. And then when it's perfectly cooked, I then just sprinkle I scoop a few tablespoons of coconut milk powder in the rice and stir it in. And it tastes just like coconut rice, as though it were cooked with coconut milk, coconut cream. Okay, and of course the other option is to steam the rice. Then you don't have to worry about the rice burning, right, when you steam the rice. But everyone knows steaming the rice takes much longer than boiling the rice. Okay, so that's my workaround. So these are the products you want to look up. Coconut milk powder, okay, here in Australia, we're very lucky to be able to get Malaysian coconut milk powder, coconut cream, right? In some parts of the world, you have to wait a little bit longer, but make sure you stick around to find out. Make sure you sign up to my malaysianchefs.com/join today, or malaysianchefs.com/recipes. You'll be added to my mailing list, and you not just get the recipes, you get updated on all the exciting things happening in terms of the Malaysian ingredients food scene here in Australia and around the world as well. I'm trying to think. Okay, someone actually commented via email earlier when I announced about this session that actually having the pineapple and prawn curry for dinner with rice, followed by coconut ice cream, is perfect. It is actually, I didn't even think of it at the time, but it is a perfect combination. But again, like, there are lots and lots of different recipes to make coconut ice cream. This is the vegan version. So of course, if you're not vegan, you can add other stuff to it. Maybe you can, I mentioned earlier during the session, you can use palm sugar in lieu of white sugar. You can also, play around with other stuff in it as well, right? You can use mango and all that sort of stuff. But I think this actually tastes really good. It's really creamy, really rich, and really delicious. Okay, so I hope you guys give a go, have a go at some of these recipes. Tag me if you do and post them on social media. I'd love to see how they turn out. But otherwise, I'll see you again on Thursday, same time, 7 p.m. Sydney, which is 4 p.m. Malaysia, and 8 a.m. Europe, I believe. Okay. Thanks again, guys, so much for tuning in, and I'll see you again. Ciao.